Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Gaming After Dark. I am your host, Noof Nukem, and I'm with my co-host,
Primal Eve.
Tonight, we've got a great episode lined up for you, but we've also got our first ever special guest, and that is Mr. Crispy Bomb. As if Boom Boom Kaboom isn't enough, we've added some extra bombs to the show. Crispy, welcome to this podcast. How the hell are you, man?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. And let's get into it.
Hey, man. Looks like we're popping our proverbial cherry here with the first ever guest, and that is Crispy Bomb. There you go, Crispy. How does it feel to be like guest number one?
Guest number one, because one is not second, and I love it.
Amen to that. One is just like an erection, standing straight up, nothing around it. All right. Well, unless you're considered two balls. I guess before we get too far into the podcast, if you guys aren't familiar with this one already, I will give you a warning in advance. Gaming After Dark is a bit more of a risque podcast. We still talk gaming. We talk a bunch of different things, but the humor can be very adult oriented. So if you got kids in the neighborhood, all that sort of stuff, just giving you a heads up and a warning right now that sometimes the language can get a little bit, as we say, X-rated. So just putting that
kind
out.
Like right now, it's time to drop the sock and put away the cock, so we can so you guys can tune in with us.
That is right. Let's give a shout out to the people that are already the early birds of the show. Let's start off with my good buddy Spider-Man 356. We got Cray Simmons up in here. We have also got Ashtray Gaming's in the house. We have got Timothy Dixon is here. The blue one is here as well. Treacherous God, what's happening, brother? Great crew already, and I'm sure more people will stroll in. And if you guys haven't heard the news already, we're going to be doing some giveaways tonight. I'm sorry, I know I'm a bit on a budget. I can't afford to give away all the new hot games, but we do have some cool games. We're going to give away 2 copies of Titanfall 2. That's disc copies, because you know how Noof rolls. I will be sending them out to you once we get the contest on the way. So at one point in the show, we're going to give away the 2 copies of Titanfall. We got some trivia questions we're going to be popping for you. And before we end the show, we're going to be giving away a copy of Metro 2033 Redux. That is the original game that started it all. And we're going to give away a copy of that. That would be a digital code. I don't need it. I already have those games on disc, so I'm going to give away my code. And we're going to have basically a random number kind of thing for that one, okay? So we're going to get right into the topics here right away. But just before we kind of get deep and dirty here, let's find out what these 2 people have been playing. Primal, what's up? What have you been lost in lately?
I'm shit. Okay, Apex still is like ruining my nights. I don't know what sleep is. It's like I'm playing all night, and then next thing you know, my daughter's like, "Mom, it's time to go to school." I'm like, "Fuck." And then I don't know if you guys saw this game all over Twitter, but this damn farming together game, I don't know what it is, but it's got me, and I'm planting shit, and I have to make sure everything's equivalent. Everything has to be 3x3 so that my tractor can water it or farm it. I am I am playing some Crackdown though, and I'm sure we'll get more into that later. But it is very interesting. Along with like some of the newer games that I'm looking forward to, I'm just kind of waiting and watching.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this damn farm together in Apex.
Well, we know you, Primal. We know you like to keep your bush watered, so there you go.
what bush?
Oh, that's right. No grass on the field, eh? Nice in for a smooth landing here. All right. Crispy Bomb, how have you been, man? Welcome to the podcast. What have you been playing? What's been keeping you up at night, bro?
I'm just going to say to Primal, hashtag put the crack down. Just saying. Basically Gears for the most part. I've been playing Division 1 because Division 2 kind of got me all amped up now. So I've been like really into that. Like Division 2 is so much fucking better though. I just can't believe it. So I'm itching for that game to come out. I did play the Anthem demo way back and I wasn't very impressed, and we might get into that, but
Yeah, we're going to be talking about all these new games here right now. That's going to be our first topic of the evening. Is basically talking about this crazy ass last couple of weeks. I mean, my lord, started January, we had Kingdom Hearts 3, then we followed by Resident Evil 2. Now we've had a glut of games, Metro, Exodus. We've had Crackdown 3. We've had what else have we had here? A whole like Anthem's coming out in a couple days. There's been so many games, man. It's unbelievable. Far Cry New Dawn. So that's where we're gonna start tonight. Again, let's shout out to the other people that just showed up. We got our Rob in the house. We got Wow, I Don't Care. We got Brian F up in here. We got Evil Resident 7797. That's gonna catch me for a trip all night long. Who else did I miss anybody? BZ McNasty's here, bringing his McNasty business to the house. Welcome everybody to the podcast. All right, so Apex Legends, yeah, that's pretty good. Played a few of that. Got 3 wins the other night, actually, in like 7 games. That was insane. It was me and Darth Fishes, man, and we just were wrecking people. It was pretty good, but it was good teamwork skills, not just because we're good at shooting. It just worked out for us, that sort of thing. So it's hit and miss sometimes. Let's talk about the games, you guys. Okay, so let's start out with the new games. Let's start with Crackdown 3, and we'll kind of get this one out of the way because this could take a couple minutes. I want to get your take on it. I've said enough on other podcasts. Crackdown 3 is out. Critics sort of been slamming it. Fans are kind of humming ha on it. Lots of people playing it on my Xbox Live friends list. Despite being quote unquote mediocre, people seem to be enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. I see a lot of people playing it. Primal, have you had a chance to dig into Crackdown? What's your impression of it, and what do you think of all the love or /hate?
First of all, the whole love-hate thing, I don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks. It's your own opinion. I don't care if you hate it, if you love it. At the end of the day, it's going to be how I think about it. I did play some co-op for a few hours, and it's fun. It's one of those jump-in games where you can just go in, shoot shit, blow shit up, jump on shit, collect some orbs. It's there's not much else to it, but that's okay. There's a lot of games where it's simple and you can just do whatever, and I think it's a great game for that. But
yeah, it's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously. Obviously, it's a game that you can pick up and play for a few minutes, or you can play it for a couple of hours, right? Crispy, how about yourself, man? Have you had a chance to even try this one out, or what?
I haven't, only because like I'm a big multiplayer gamer, and they haven't fixed all that shit yet. So I'm kind of like, I'm gonna wait. I like campaign things. Like, don't get me wrong, like I do play some campaigns, but it's few and far between. I mean, it took me like a whole year to complete Gears 4 campaign because I just constantly go into the multiplayer.
Right.
So
right.
The problem is that people are enjoying the game, and then they're defending the hell out of it, and then the people that haven't even played the game are talking shit about it, and that shit is stupid. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, just let people enjoy their game, okay? And I'm saying, don't let it get to you. If you like the game, who the fuck cares what they say? I mean, I see this shit all over Twitter. Like I usually love looking at Twitter. Now I'm like, well, why are you bashing the game? Don't get me wrong. I see a lot of people saying Agents of Mayhem is actually a shit game compared to Crackdown 3. Yet Crackdown 3 has a worse Metacritic. So maybe there's some bias there. I don't fucking know. But let's all get along. Let's just let the people that like the game play the fucking game. I have Game Pass. I'm going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to enjoy the little time that I have for my $10. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to go and bash the game. I'm not. I don't, let it be.
Well, hey, man, it's like going to your favorite restaurant. Some people can't stand the Big Mac. I actually love the damn thing. I don't know what it is, right? But at the same time, like I said, at least try it. Then you can give an opinion on it if you don't have the console to play it or the PC or whatever. Like, I just don't understand why some people are very adamant on driving this one into the ground. It is what it is. I mean, personally, I play it. I'm actually liking it. Would I give it a 10? Not a fucking chance. For me, it's a 6, 5, 7 multiplayer. I haven't even really dove into all that much. But again, it is a fun game. The graphics, people that say the 360 graphics, well, honestly, put them side by side with Crackdown 1 and this one. There's no comparison. They're much better. but the graphics themselves are not going to blow anybody away. And it's a stylized game. It has a certain look, but they work. The HDR is great. The game is crisp and it's fluid. It's a pretty solid 30 frames throughout. I think the biggest disappointment is just it's not as crazy in terms of destruction and things like that as sort of they had intended. I won't say some people are saying they promised. They never came in and said, well, we promise it's going to be this. Their intention was to give us certain things that never lived up to its billing. And that happens sometimes. I think every developer, you hear this all the time in every game. After the fact, when the game is out, how many times do you hear developers say, this idea, this idea, this idea, and this idea ended up on the cutting room floor? Because either one, they didn't have the time or the money, or two, they didn't have the tech to do it properly, or they didn't have the talents to do it, or the heart. You know what I mean? So I don't know why this game has taken such a beating for things. And I think, our good buddy Dealer, I think it was Dealer, it might have been Colt, I can't remember. No, it was actually So Shady. So Shady summed it up really good last night on the Game Dosage podcast when he said Crackdown is taking more critics for the game people wanted it to be than it is for the game that it is. Does that make any sense?
Oh, it does.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's taking more of a beating for the game that people wanted it to be, or judging it for something it's not than what it is for something that it is. So I'm going to leave it at that. Anybody else have some final thoughts on the Crackdown?
I think people are getting enough boom. I think people are happy with the boom.
There's lots
of
boom.
I think a lot of people are enjoying it, definitely. But you know what? The game did just release. I'm sure there's going to be some updates and patches. I myself even had issues in the co-op where the servers would drop, which was really weirding me out. And then also some of the controls are kind of clunky a little bit when you're trying to climb things. But other than that, there's no such thing as a perfect game. And I know a lot of people are going to shit on it because it's not their thing. And it drives me nuts that people are more likely to pick out the things that they don't like than what they do like.
Yeah.
I've been noticing that a lot. So
I think there's a large portion of the community that's the extra hate is coming because, again, they don't like Xbox. I hate to say it, but I think it's true. Those people seem to be very vocal. They can't just go, well, Crackdown's not for me. They just don't, they can't be sensible about it. They got to hate on it. They got to make sure everybody in the world knows that they fucking hate Crackdown. They think it's a flop, blah, blah, blah. Like it's just, and I know, look, there's guys on the Xbox side too do the same thing as well. So an idiot's an idiot. Doesn't matter which fucking, which blanket you put on your face. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got Wow I Don't Care in the chat. He says, I love eating out. I love eating out too, as long as the dish ain't fish, if you know what I mean. Wow I Don't Care. Oh man. Let's talk about the other games. Metro 2033. Now there's a game that had very little hoopla, very little, say, like a big marketing campaign. I mean, people were interested, but it mostly came from the trailers we saw, like the E3s and stuff. Who's had a chance to play or buy this game? I bought it. I'll talk about it in a second. Have you guys tried? Have you guys tried it at all? Because it is phenomenal. Give me your take on Metro 2033, and are you happy to see that it is, getting well received?
I haven't played it. I will say that graphically it looks really good, but I'm not a first-person shooter guy. I'm really not. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to adapt to that. And who knows? Maybe if it's discounted down the road, I might pick it up.
Yeah. Well, I was saying that too last night on a podcast, and I'll get your take on this as well, that I feel that this is one of those titles I feel sorry for because it is really good, but a lot of people are either one, going to wait till it goes on sale because it is a single player game, right? And two, or they'll wait to see if it shows up in Game Pass over the next 6 months to a year, right? So do you think that's going to be a constant thing, especially with Xbox games going forward? Eve?
I see that a lot lately. A lot of people are just like, "Oh, I'll just wait for it to go in Game Pass. Oh, I'll just wait for it to go in Game Pass." With Metro, I'm excited for it to have as much attention as it's having now. I played the first two, and I remember when the first one came out, I was all about it and I loved it, but nobody knew a damn thing about it. It was kind of just like it kind of came out, and there wasn't really any marketing towards it, or it was never actually talked about. So I don't know. It's a shame, and I hope that it doesn't become a complete trend because a lot of people could be missing it. Who knows if the game's even going to go on Game Pass? You can't depend on Game Pass for having every single hot title
right
that comes out. Yes, of course, it is going to have all of the the Microsoft games on there, but there's no guarantee that everything else will be on there. Having Tomb Raider on there was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge surprise, especially because I still think that game is kind of fairly new. It hasn't even been out for a year yet, and it's already on there. But,
So do you think this is something going forward? Do you think it's a disservice to the games that they end up in Game Pass, especially fairly quickly, so they don't reach their full sort of sales potential? Because I'm sure every company wants to come out and sell their game at full retail and have it do really well. And when it kind of slows down, 2 or 3 years after the fact, when the game is kind of out of sight, out of mind, then it goes in, and it kind of makes sense. But when it's sort of a hot commodity and you see it right away, like, do you think that's going to be a trend? And do you think that could turn away developers from throwing in games to the service, or is this, it doesn't matter as long as Microsoft's throwing money at them?
Money talks. It really, really does. But in a way, for me, I do look at it as kind of like a disservice. I am all about Game Pass. I think it's fan-fucking-tastic. I love the fact that I'm able to try out games that I never really would have thought that I would ever try before. But these are games that have been out for at least a year or more, and they're also smaller titles, some of them indie titles. So it's not... There comes a fine line on exactly which games should be going into Game Pass and which ones shouldn't. And I just don't think it's okay for them for people to assume that, oh, I'll just Game Pass it, because they're missing it.
Quick shout out to the chat again. We got some new faces up in here. We got Mega Bad C. What's going on, Mega? We got C Script in the house right now. Jago Kukan has brought his ninja skills to the podcast. We also have Mike and Shizno Elite, who apparently is driving, but thanks for popping in. Shizno R. Rob, what's going on as well? I don't know if I said hello to you guys earlier, but thanks for being here, you guys. Crispy, go ahead. You had a few words to say on that?
Basically, the Game Pass has become, I think personally, if Microsoft has like any third-party game on a main stage, and within a year or a year and a half, it's going to be on Game Pass. That's the way it's been looking. Personally, what's the kickback that these third-party developers are getting? You know what I mean? If the game becomes, kind of null and void, like nobody really is talking about it, you throw it on Game Pass and you're automatically getting some kind of, like, whether it be bad or good, just people talking about it. And that could be something that they're thinking of. Maybe the whole thing with them selling, more games as it's been on Game Pass could be something that maybe these third-party developers are thinking of. I mean, personally, I think you're going to see Fallout 76 on there real soon. You know what I mean? Because that's what I said. Crackdown's getting all this, beat down, as I like to say. But I mean, Fallout 76 is such a broken game. I wouldn't even pick it up, and I'm a huge Fallout fan. I freaking love Fallout, and I'm like, you didn't give me better graphics. You're monetizing, pay to win type shit, and you're gonna sit here and you're gonna try to sell me this game. You made it to be this huge thing at your conference at E3, and it is shit. Okay, it's Fallout 4 with multiplayer. That's it. You should have just did that to begin with. Okay, so it's gonna be on Game Pass. I was really surprised, like you said, Primal, that Shadow of the Tomb Raider was already there. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. They did that quick, and maybe it's because they didn't get enough purchases. Just like Far Cry Primal or whatever the heck it is, New Dawn. Okay, it's just sitting there and nobody's talking about it. And I hear a lot of people enjoying the game. They really are. So it's your preference at this point. I just feel like this first quarter this year is like so stacked that we really, a lot of people don't know what to do. Like, I've already pinpointed, because of it was either Anthem or Division 2. I don't have the money for both. So thank God I played the demo, beta, alpha, whatever you want to call it, of Anthem. Because it didn't feel like a demo. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. But and then I played the beta of Division 2, which you might have been able to call a demo from what I played, besides the connection issues and the audio. That's the only two problems I had, was connection issues and audio. Other than that, the game felt way more intense than the first one, because I played 400 hours of the first one. And it grabbed me, because I felt like even though I know the game, I'm having a different experience. Right. You know what I mean? And that's something that, you know, like Anthem, I was all hyped up for, and then I hit the loading screens and the loading screens and the loading screens. And I'm like, isn't this shit supposed to be open world? Like, am I supposed to not be able to walk down the street up here? Nope, you can't do that. You're going into the missions through your main place that you're at. So there's a problem there. They've clearly, like, you know, mishandled the game in some way, and they need to fix it. And maybe down the road I'll purchase it. But now I was completely turned off. I played like 2 hours of it, and I was like, this game is not making me excited. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to buy it.
Fair enough. Speaking of Fallout 76, to any of my Canadian friends, if you guys have been riding the fence on buying an Xbox One X, just a notice, you can actually go to Microsoft Store right now. You can actually do it through the Xbox dashboard because they have a new hardware section, and you can actually buy the Xbox One X Far Cry 76 bundle, the white one or the black one, for $469 plus tax. So that's $130 discount. So that's pretty good. I was almost tempted to buy another one, but I think I'll wait till my Scorpio edition shits the bed before I go dropping more money on hardware. So yeah, middle-aged game. What is up, guys? And yes, some guys raised some good points in the chat too, like our buddy here in the chat. Magic Mike's in the house too, by the way. He said it was I just Mike up here, but it is Magic Mike. What's going on, Magic Mike, my friend? Don't be a stranger, bro. Hopefully the family is good. The Magic Mike guy's a good friend. We go back a while back with a few podcasts and stuff like that. But anyway, C-Script, well, how's it going, man? But let's talk about some other games here. Let's see. So Metro, like I said, glad it's getting good reviews and stuff like that, and it's people are really enjoying it. It looks amazing, by the way. If you do have the Xbox One X, it's a nice showcase title for that. What else we got? Far Cry New Dawn. Has anybody bought it, played it, or even give a rat's ass? Primal?
Nope. I'm not, like, it's just I never really got into any of the Far Cry series. I know a lot of people are enjoying it, which is great. I love when people love to play anything, really. It's just not my thing. Maybe if I don't know. There is no maybes. I really don't care. Sorry.
Yeah. Gotcha. I'm the same thing. Far Cry, like I love Far Cry 5, but New Dawn just didn't excite me, even from the original trailers. I'm sure it's pretty good. Some people have been playing. I think Lady Foxfire has been playing. She says like it's fun, but I was watching Mel play a little bit of it the other night. I mean, it looks just like Far Cry. It looks like, again, like they basically they took the map, reskinned it a little, threw in some new characters, added some, post-apocalyptic shit and called it a day. I mean, it's like a $40 game or whatever the hell it is. So I suppose if you're a big fan of Far Cry, it's worth the romp. But for me, that's part of the problem. Like, I'm just not ready to jump back into that game again unless it's quite different. And there's another post-apocalyptic game coming out pretty soon, which we'll talk about later on, that I'm really excited for. How about you, man? Crispy, have you had a chance to play Far Cry New Dawn or even care?
I don't care. Thank you. But at the same time, I'm a little surprised that because of the people, like, it's been mostly positive, that a lot of people haven't said a word about it. And I'm just like, I know Division's coming out soon, and a lot of people are amped for that. You have Anthem coming out in a couple of days. Like, everybody's got to make their certain purchase, and I just hope that everybody's happy with their purchase.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a packed month when a game basically can come out that's called Far Cry and it basically slides underneath the radar. That's insane, right? Any other time you'd be like, oh, Far Cry, let's get on that. But you're kind of like, the wallet and the time just can't handle it all, right? Next one, Jump Force, a game that actually caught my attention when they showed it off at the E3. But honestly, once I found out it was basically a brawler just fighting, like a versus fighter game, I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm out. How about you guys? Anybody jump on the Jump Force bandwagon? Anybody even care about these characters or what?
I know nothing about these Japanese characters. I'm just saying. I do know Dragon Ball. I've watched Dragon Ball. The problem I have is that, we're constantly, they're setting the bar so high when they announce these games. It's like, when you don't get what you want, you're very disappointed because you basically feel like they promised it to you. You know what I mean? And that's something that they need to figure out themselves. Like when I saw it at E3, I didn't expect it to be what everybody's saying it is now.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, when people, you know, that are into games like that don't even like it, that's when it's like, well, why the heck would I buy it?
Yeah.
Right.
No doubt, no doubt. Primal, I mean, I know you've got a bit more of you know, anime and these kind of stuff lineage than probably either one of us do. So how about yourself?
I am actually kind of interested because I am absolutely in love with Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin Samurai X. I absolutely love him, and then I also have a major crush on Kakashi from Naruto. But
Mhm.
as far as fighting games go and like brawler games, it's difficult for me to try and get into newer things. I'm a huge Street Fighter person. I am
Mhm.
extremely loyal to Street Fighter. So, as cool as it would be to play as these characters, it's not anything I have to.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I said, it's a no-show for me. Like it looked interesting. I like the graphic art style, and I am familiar with some of the characters. It just once I found it was a fighter, it's like no way. If I'm going to dump my money on any fighter this year, it's going to be the next Mortal Kombat game, which looks absolutely insane. Yeah. So you know, I mean, try it out. I'm not going to rag on it because I don't know anything about it, but it's just the fighting style was not cool. Looks like Jago will agree himself. He's thinks it's cool, but you know, the whole style or whatever is not for him. Um, where are we at? I guess 18 people are dropping like flies in. We're down to 17 already. What's going on? The number should be going up, not down, guys. So do we have to give this fucking do we have to give this chat room a shot of Viagra or what? Where the fuck you all going? You can't win if you're not here. That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't have Cletus coming to
Hey, you guys start fucking off. I'm gonna come over to your house and I'm gonna lay on top of your grandmama. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll show you some jump force. I'll come over to Eve's house. I'll jump her bones and show her some force. That's what I'll do. All right, guys. All right. Anyway, let's last game on this list. Let's try to move this one out. We got Anthem. 2 days away. It's been basically one of the most hype games of the freaking year. People are going nuts for it. Already I'm starting to hear some negative feedback that you know, coming from the podcast community, coming from sort of the early previews, reviews, that sort of thing. I'll get you guys to weigh in on it. Where do you think this game's going to land? Do you think this game is going to be a bit of a saving grace after the Mass Effect debacle, or do you think unless you're a big looter shooter fan, this game is not going to do it for you? What is the deal? 2 days away. Give us your take. Who's buying? Who's playing? What's your take? Primal, go for it.
Oh man, Anthem and we have this special kind of relationship. It's something I'm interested in it, but I don't want to hit it type thing. For me, just from playing the demo beta thing, I feel like I've already played it. It's the same exact gameplay and mechanics as the multiplayer in Mass Effect Andromeda. So that's a negative thing for me because I'm gonna get bored with it easily. By the way, nothing will save Mass Effect Andromeda. That's a shit stain on gaming history.
Oh, come on, no.
Something no, I loved it. I wish they never fixed it because I always say this, but it was my Spaceballs of video games. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
I'll show
But
you a dark
as
helmet.
I bet. As far as Anthem goes, though, it it doesn't have a lot of replay value in my eyes so far that I've seen. I don't really feel I'd have to get more of the story, but when I played the demo, I didn't feel like I had a lot of purpose. And then also something that I found out recently was is that probably my favorite part of the demo, the one thing I enjoyed the most was the stronghold, going from each point and collecting these little light orb things and bringing them back to be sent.
Hmm.
I thought that was fun. It was
Yeah.
difficult. There was actually teamwork involved. To find out that that was only one of the three strongholds that will be available in the game is a big turnoff for me because I was really, really excited. I was hoping that it would be more of like a raid aspect
Mhm.
um, that would be added to the game. So Anthem, it looks cool, but I think it doesn't have any replay play value for me
Okay.
whatsoever.
Your tone for me says everything. It sounds like a maybe later kind of a buy, not a day one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I know Jago is probably one of the biggest supporters of the game in the chat. And I don't know,
Yes.
I was here for a while. Jago's just like itching at the bit. Look, the game looks cool. It plays phenomenal. The javelins are fantastic. The assortment of weaponry is cool. That I can't deny. It's the looter shooter aspect that has me worried. The thing is, the co-op, as BZ McNasty said in the chat, that's one of its biggest saving graces. And the thing is, if your friends aren't playing, is this game going to hold your attention? That's the thing. Because for me, I can see myself playing mostly because my friends are playing. But will I feel like I want to dive into that world if they're not online, or will I get left behind like I did with the Division? I took 1 week off when the Division came out, and motherfuckers were like 40 levels above me, and I couldn't even play the game with them. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. On top of all the damn bullet sponge ass enemies that just drove me absolutely bonkers. I'm like, what the fuck? It's supposed to be a shooter. Why am I pumping like round after round into these assholes? They're not robots. Like, what am I shooting the Terminator? You know what I mean? So, Crispy, go ahead, man. Are you dropping your bomb on this one on Friday?
I'm not dropping that load, bro. I'm sorry. Anthem for me is like that chick that you pick up at the bar, and she's really, really hot when you're so drunk, and then you wake up and you're like, well, I could put a bag over her head. That's really what it is. But it's just the gunplay, everything else is awesome, but they need to. I felt like, because the problem is you're going to go into the Division beta, and I played them both almost like, simultaneously, it felt like. And the Division 2 was just constantly, smooth as far as like you weren't loading, you weren't slowed down because of how vast the world was. And then I go and I was playing Anthem, and I'm like, oh, I get a loading screen. Oh, another loading screen. And I'm like, isn't this supposed to be open world? I mean, haven't we defined what open world is? I mean, I'm just, it's baffling. Like maybe at the end when, that one thing I'm thinking is maybe at the end when you finally level up completely, maybe you can just explore. But why should they hold you to that? That just, so it's one of those things like, I want to, but I just can't.
Yeah. Magic Mike in the chat, he kind of mentioned like, he was hoping for something was a little more story, focus, single player, perhaps more like, more like Mass Effect in a way. Like technically this would be the spiritual successor to Mass Effect with javelins, these mech suits that you get into. But it just feels like the story's in bits and pieces, and it all goes back when you go back to the base, the whatever the fuck they call it, which reminds me of Destiny, because you always kind of go back to your little thing and then you go back out and do another mission, that sort of thing. So I totally agree. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody on the game. Like I said, if you want the game, go get it. For me, it's one of those wait and sees. I'm not saying I won't ever get the game, but I'm definitely not going to drop my $80 on it come Friday. That's all I'm saying. But hopefully BioWare, they sort things out and the game doesn't tank. It does well, because I know they need a bit of a hit. I'm sure EA is hoping that this game knocks it out of the park. Something tells me it will have a pretty successful launch. We'll just have to see how it goes. What's going on, Fastback? How you doing, man? Hope you're having a great night, guys. Again, thanks to everybody that's watching us up in the chat here right now. Let's get into the next topic, because I want to start giving you a giveaway here as we're half an hour into the show. Let's address this weird Scalebound rumor that came out of left field. Apparently, rumors that Scalebound might be getting resurrected to come out on the Switch. And again, I say this again, rumored, probably full of crap, just like a baby's diaper, but Primal. Do you think it's a possibility? And if it did come to the Switch, would it be something you're even interested in?
I'm not a Switch owner. I did play a little bit of Scalebound. Not play. I did see a little bit of.
Where did you play Scalebound? Are you an insider? Did you hang out?
She's an insider,
right? No, I I did see a little bit of Scalebound, and I remember being really, really excited for it, and I thought that would be like an awesome game, and then it was gone. I think it's great for any system or any developer to pick up something that could have been. It is kind of interesting that it's almost like a little transaction between Microsoft and Nintendo. Like Microsoft's like, yeah, here, you can have my shit. And Nintendo's like, yes, we got it. So if that did happen, cool. There's absolutely nothing. It is kind of weird, but I think that's a great thing. No, I won't be picking it up because I don't have a Switch, but I'm all about games surviving. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, there seems to be like quite a bit of interest still hanging on to the thought of that IP, largely because it has dragons. I wasn't too excited about it in the meantime, even when they first announced it for Xbox. This thing, yeah,
Oh,
it's like one of those.
I thought it was
Crispy, how about you, man? Are you
Well,
interested in Scalebound, or are you just ready to go to the washroom and step on the scale? What's the deal?
yeah, I got to step on that scale, bro. I'm just saying. Not a Switch owner because they haven't given me the graphics I need in my life. So I'm not gonna purchase a basically a portable device just to sit there and look and strain my eyes. Like I need my 4K or at least close to it. So the thing I have to say is that didn't Microsoft trademark this like not too long ago? Wasn't that like big
Right.
news?
Yeah.
So are they going to pay them to? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's money involved to get this trademark from them,
Mhm.
unless you're going to change the name. And I still think that they own like some kind of development rights or something.
Right.
So maybe it happened, but I think it's a load of bullshit.
Yeah. I totally agree. The only thing I said, if some developer was like, "Hey, we're looking to resurrect this title. We'd like to do it for the Switch because we think it stands a chance of having the biggest audience per se." Anything in this day and age is possible with the right funding. Right, money talks, bullshit walks. We all know that. If you're willing to throw money at anything these days, chances are it will get made. Right, and of course, with the crossplay sort of aspect, especially being big between Xbox and Nintendo, you can never say never. But I think mostly this is just a fart on a bad windstorm right now, and there's nothing going to come out of this. But we'll just leave it right there. I mean, if it ever happens, great, I suppose. But let's move right along, and let's actually give away some copies of Titanfall 2, the spiritual successor to Anthem, or not Anthem. Did I say Anthem? No, not Titanfall 2, not Anthem. Apex. Fucking games with the word A in the fucking title. Goddamn asshole. That one get A in the title too. I live up to that one. Let's give away some Titanfall games, guys. Yes, I'm sure lots of people already own it, but I'm sure there might be at least one or two of you in the chat who do not, which is probably going to make your chances even better. If you already own Titanfall 2, then I asked you kind of reserve yourself and sit back a little bit and maybe let somebody new win this game. But we're going to drop some trivia on you guys right now. And here it is, guys. This is the trivia. Here we go. The first trivia question of the night. I will drop this in the chat here right now. Just let me copy and paste it in here. And okay, guys, here's the first trivia for the first copy of Titanfall 2. This is a disc copy. And here is the actual trivia question. Which studio did Respawn's game director and studio head Vince Zampella work for prior to the franchise? A, Treyarch, B, Sledgehammer, or C, Infinity Ward? Who not the answer? Whoever's the first to drop the right answer here, boom, wins. And we already have a winner. Man, he was fast. He was as fast as a virgin in the sack. Fucking C-script. Infinity Ward it was for Vince Zampella. C-Script, congratulations. You win yourself a copy of Titanfall 2 for the Xbox One. Yes, these are Xbox One games. Sorry, guys. You're fast. We got another copy, so don't go anywhere. We're going to give this one away. This question is going to be trickier, but it is totally doable. Just like, Primal Eve these days, right, Primal?
A little bit. It depends on what kind of games you got.
That's right. That's what kind of games you got. I'm totally doable. That's all. And put a bag over my head. But let's get to the second question. I'm hard on myself tonight. All right, let's do this one. Here is all right. I can't paste this one to you. So what I'm going to do is you're going to have to listen intently. I'll type them in. I'll put the question in, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So here's the second question for the second copy of Titanfall. All right. One of Primal Eve's favorite game franchises, if you guys didn't know this already, is Gears of War. But can you guess who her favorite character, weapon, and map are? Favorite character, weapon, and map. So I'm gonna grab the first couple here, and I'm gonna just give me a second here, guys. I'm kind of doing the copy and paste stuff here, and just give me a second. Hold on. Won't be long here. I guess I should have had this all ready to roll beforehand, shouldn't I? It's called preparation. Sorry, I'm no boomstick. That motherfucker has shit down, man. But we write the book before every show. It's insane, man. I know, eh? Like, it's insane. So you're gonna have to put these in order. You're gonna have to guess the right one. So there's basically three. Here we go. Here's the question, and here would be your choice of answers, guys. All right, so it could be either her favorite character could be either Bernie, Coltrane, Baird. Her favorite weapon could be the Nasher, Torque Bow, Long Shot. Her favorite map could be Raven Down, Bullet Marsh, or Blood Drive. So there's your choices. You have to type them in the order of what they are: character, weapon, and map. If you get the three combos right, then you will score the second copy. Preparation H, yes, I have that on my ass almost each and every day. The roids get me annoyed. Well, hey, fiddly diddly, gonna give you guys some time to think about that one. Something that old Cletus here don't know how to do much of is thinking, but that's all right. I ain't thinking because I'm always thinking. That's what we do. All right, all right. You guys still here?
This one's tough.
This one is a tougher one.
Yeah,
guys.
unless like you're somebody who I've played with like 24/7, it would be a little difficult. Actually, you know what? No, I take that back. I've been on podcasts. I've mentioned shit on Twitter. I have said all of these. So let's see how good.
Well, like I said, they got three choices in each category, and they just got to figure it out. So it's kind of a process of elimination here, right? Somebody might get it right away, but they've got to type it in the chat. That's how this is going to roll. So we're still waiting. C-Script won the first copy of Titanfall 2. This is for the second copy of Titanfall 2. And later, we're going to give away Metro 2033 Redo. It's just going to be a random, let me see. So Jago guess Coltrane, Nasher, and Blood Drive. And we're going to say, Go ahead, Primal. Let them know, does he win a prize?
No.
Perfect.
All right, so no go on the first guess, Jago. Keep going, guys. Keep going. We got to get this one. The podcast is gonna keep going here until somebody wins this damn prize. Right?
Are you kidding me? He sleeps with it.
Come on. Yo, it is Crazy Greek Dude. What's happening, bro? It is Tuesday night already. That's right.
Nobody wants to guess. Come on now.
Yes, somebody wants to copy Titanfall 2. Fuck, I don't even care. If you already have it, that's fine. Win it again. Whatever. You get the disc copy anyway, right? You know, it's all good. Otherwise, I can give it away some other night. Maybe use this question again. So we'll give you about another. I'm going to give you about another minute here, and we're going to move along. Otherwise, and like I said, I can always keep it for another podcast. I'll keep the same question. I'll give you guys some time to think about it, so to speak. Yeah, I know what my favorite character is. I can tell you my favorite character is the Coltrane, and I can tell you my favorite weapon is the Torque Bow, bar none. How about you, Crispy? I know you're a big Gears guy. So who's your favorite character? What's your favorite weapon?
Day of the Dead Kate, Nasher, and it would probably be Blood Drive.
Blood Drive.
But that's a tough one. Raven Down or Blood Drive. I would have to say Blood Drive.
Yeah. I think one of my worst maps, the one that still gives me fits to this day, has to be Escalation. Oh my God, that map.
Oh God. Oh fuck that map.
Especially from the original game with the snipers on the bottom, and then people would just camp out there and you're trying to run down. It's just because it's like two sides and then little partitions in between. And it's just the map always plays it sort of like the same way. And it's just really weird, right?
There's one thing I like from that map is the choke points, because there's a ton of them, and I love Natcher play, but as soon as somebody good with the snipe gets it at the bottom, you're fucked.
See, I have horror stories from Gears 1 when you were able to jump out of the map and there'd be somebody with their long shot poking out through the wall and you couldn't tell where it was and they'd be sniping you from anywhere. It should drove me nuts.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, my nephew's in the chat. Justin Parsons, what's happening, brother? How you doing, man? That's my nephew, man. Escalation. Yeah, he had some good matches on that one with me back in the day. That's for sure. He could tell you some great old Gears of War stories. Timothy Dixon's made a guess. Baird, Longshot, Bullet Marsh. Who else scared? Jago guessed the second had Baird, Longshot, Raven Downs. Everybody's over yet. Oh man, what's going on?
Is it Gears 3 Bullet Marsh or Gears 1 Bullet Marsh?
It doesn't really matter as long as it's Bullet Marsh,
It's
right?
just in general. Yeah, that's so hard. Well, I know they were different, but then like you have the 800 Gridlocks, the 800 Blood Drives, the 800 Raven Downs.
But Bullet Marsh was the only one that they actually had to change the map for Gears 3 because they actually put with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here, let's give the chat a little hint here, okay? And I'm going to give away the first two for you. Actually, she will tell you the first two, then it's up to somebody to guess the last one. So tell them your favorite character and your favorite weapon, Primal.
My favorite character is Bernie Mataki. She is a badass chick who sounds like she smoked an entire, I don't know, carton of cigarettes. But if you read the comics and the books, she is one hell of a woman. She is so badass. I absolutely love her, and I love her relationship with Hoffman. And my favorite, Jago. I just saw that. My favorite weapon is the Gnasher. That is my baby. I cannot do anything. Well, I can do everything without it, but I prefer to have my Gnasher at all times, in all games, no matter how slow it is, no matter if it sounds like it's breaking glass when you shoot it, or even if any bullets come out. It's my favorite weapon. I can snipe with it. I don't two-piece. Two-piece is bad.
Yeah.
Yes, it's bad.
You like your weapons like you like your man, eh? I
want one big load of noof.
Thick and powerful, right? That's what you want, right? Thick and powerful.
Yes. even if it doesn't get on the part that's aiming, I'm still getting shot. So yes.
All right. Have we met yet? Have we met? No.
The last you know what? I'm wondering how much how I'm like majorly into Gears multiplayer. Like I live and breathe the Gears multiplayer.
Do you remember the conversation we had? I had more hours than you, and you're like, what?
I think so. Yeah. Well, no.
I have like 30 days now. 30 days worth of playing Gears 4.
Gears 4?
Yes.
So the last one is the map. So your choices are Raven Down, Bullet Marsh, and Blood Drive. Whoever can get that one right is going to score the copy of Titanfall 2. Did you guys get that?
I could guess that myself just because of your favorite weapon, but I'm just
I know exactly. I know what you know. I sense it. And you're
Raven
right.
Down, Bullet Marsh, or Blood Drive.
You got to know Gears though, because some people don't even know what the hell those damn freaking maps are. So,
Dreadpool, what's up? Kelly Rex, what's up? Yes, Evil Resident has got it.
Yeah,
Evil Resident 77.
There you go.
Raven Down.
Down. There you go. Way to go, Resident or Evil Resident.
Woo! Congrats.
Raven Down is a Gnasher map. It's close quarters. Absolutely. I absolutely love running into the crack house and trying to get somebody that's trying to cut the corner. It's my favorite map. I love to have somebody in front of me when I blast them. So.
All right. Congratulations to our two winners. T-Script and Evil Resident. Hope you guys are following me on Twitter because I'm going to need your postal addresses because I'm sending out physical copies of these damn games, okay? So if you're not following me on Twitter, it's pretty simple. Nukem, go over and follow me. Send me a real quick hello. I will definitely get those to you. Probably send them out by Friday. Metro coming up a little bit later on, guys. Let's get into the next couple topics. We got some juicy stuff before the end of the show. Not that kind of juice either, but yeah, we do have some great topics coming up here for you.
You a squirter, dude?
I was like, just give me a minute.
There's another topic for another week. Do you squirt? Do you shoot or do you plop? Oh man, this is all right. Here we go. So let's get into the next topic now. Let's go back on track. This one is a little non-game related, but this was kind of big news. I think some of us seen it coming on like a blind guy in a fucking porn factory.
I always see it coming.
I always see it coming. It's what happens after you can't see shit, right? Netflix cancels
Oh,
Punisher
shit.
and Jessica Jones. Reactions and what can Netflix do to make up for it? Perhaps they could bring out some DC content. Anybody here fans of those shows, The Punisher and Jessica Jones? What do you think about the cancellations?
I'm not a fan. I will say this.
Not a fan of
Netflix,
what they did, or not a fan of the shows?
not a fan of the shows. I watch Netflix. I actually watch for their Netflix
Right.
originals. But they're gonna lose the Marvel, the whole Marvel universe from Netflix. If you didn't know, Disney's gonna release their own, freaking subscription based like movie and show thing. So I don't know if they're gonna pick them up on there, but clearly they're already starting to just do the right thing because they know that they could get sued, and yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Hopefully they do some DC stuff. I mean, I think there's still a lot of play in DC because so many people have messed up these movies and these shows that I mean, you got to go back to the one and only my favorite movie of all time, The Dark Knight, and look at the way that movie is and use that. I mean, get your head out of your ass. That movie is one of the all-time greats. Yes, you had an actor that unfortunately passed away that did one of the greatest jobs I've ever seen as a villain in my entire life. And I've literally watched that movie 100 times because of Heath Ledger. And you can't deter yourself from taking something that worked. Even The Dark Knight Rises was a pretty damn good movie, so use those, like bring it to that dark grittiness. Like you got to bring it to the dark. And yes, you might have to release it on Netflix because it might be like R-rated with all kinds of wild shit going on, because you can't do it. You can't bring that dark grittiness when you just put it on ABC or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that dark grittiness, and hopefully they do something like that, because there's still so much left in the DC universe that people don't even know about. And I hope that they do something with it.
Yeah. That reminds me, have you ever heard this joke before, Crispy? What happens when Bruce Wayne takes Viagra?
Oh, God, no, I haven't.
The Dark Knight Rises. What's going on, Charlie Rex? Brian F. Brian Baker, what's up? Delirium Blades in the chat. Dan Forza, man. Good dude. Good dude indeed. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's well. He was wondering about my mic. Said I sounded different. I don't know. I'm using a rig headset. I'm plugged in through my PC. Still been having some issues because the PC that I have now only has the one jack. As opposed to my old one, which I had the headphone and the thing. Alan Savage, what is up, bro? What's going on? Yeah. All right. So, Primal, give us your take on the shows. I'm going to keep it quick because I never really watched either one. I did dabble with the Punisher, which I thought was a decent show, but I never really got too deep into it. The one I was really enjoying was Luke Cage. That was canceled a while back. Then after that, they canceled, Daredevil. Again, we kind of saw this coming when Disney signed up for their own production. It was kind of like, yeah, they're gonna start acting. They're gonna make those shows on their own or whatever. So I think it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Maybe, like I said, Netflix can come back with some, DC based material that's just as good, hopefully. So yeah. So yeah, yes, Noof has all the jacks, including jacking off. I used to be known as I've been jacking off. That was one of my first gamer tags. No, that's true. That's a true story. Justin can tell you in the chat. I used to be I've been jacking off before I ever became Noof Nukem. Primal, anyway, give me your take.
Yeah, I saw this coming. We all did. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily gone forever if Disney decides to do something with it. As far as Netflix doing some DC stuff, it would be great, but the CW pretty much has swallowed up a lot of DC characters. Are they doing justice? Not really. It's my favorite thing to do. No. But you know what, Crispy, you have a major point about having the dark and gritty, and not just with DC, but with Marvel as well. And that's what they did with the Netflix shows. These comics aren't G-rated. They're not even PG-rated. If you go through them, people are getting killed. People are getting abused in many different ways. So it would be awesome for Netflix to do that. But as far as I know, the closest show to what Netflix could do to a DC show is Titans. If you guys haven't seen this show yet, I know, like, probably the first thing you might think of is like Teen Titans, because my daughter watches it 24/7. It drives me fucking nuts, but I still watch it. They really took Titans and made them what they should be. Like, Robin is Robin. I think if they did go along the lines more with that, and just like the Dark Knight trilogy, they could do something. But Netflix is doing really well with their movies lately. They've been kind of pumping out movies. They also have The Witcher coming up soon, which I've been skeptical about, but the more I'm learning about it, the more I'm thinking it's going to be okay. So I think Netflix will be just fine.
Yeah, no, Netflix will be just fine even without those shows. I'm sure they've got a huge revenue. They keep coming up with lots of original content. Stranger Things has been an absolute massive hit for them. So they have other stuff besides the Marvel stuff. It just kind of sucks. But like I said, maybe Disney gets their stuff off the ground and revives some of these shows or makes new ones, whatever. It should be okay. It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. Everybody's trying to get a piece of the action these days, it seems like. And unfortunately, stuff hits the cutting room floor. Let's get into this next one. And this is an interesting question. This is, not a big topic, but I just ended up picking up a game called Ni no Kuni 2. I don't know if anybody's heard of this one. It's gotten some pretty good reviews and stuff. And I don't normally buy these types of games. They're not normally something that I go out, but the price was good and I heard good things about it. And it looked very interesting to me, right? So I'm just trying to figure out from you guys, and the chat can weigh in here as well. I want to know, have you ever played a game that you were severely wrong about? Maybe you thought it was going to be trash and it turned out to be awesome, or vice versa. Or you decided to go out and try a game that normally wasn't, say, your cup of tea or your bag, so to speak. And I'll let Crispy start off on this one, dude. Have you ever kind of had any of those games?
Well, a game that I thought was going to be awesome would have to be Gears Judgment, and it was freaking crap. All right, and I'm just going to say that one real quick. I have tried Gears Judgment.
Okay, yeah.
What game is that? What again? No. I have tried, like even the Division, like my buddy bought it for me. And when I played it, I was actually like surprised at how much I like it, because I knew it was a looter shooter and I knew it was an MMO style game. And I was like, oh, this grind shit. Like, I've always heard the grind. And then I played it and I'm like, wow, I really like this game. So it's very interesting how you can not be into a game and then all of a sudden like it.
Right. Primal, how about yourself? Anything that you ever thought was going to be really good or really bad and it turned out to be opposite?
I'm a pretty positive gamer. I try and find something great in everything, even Judgment. It was pretty. It had some nice coloring. It was cool to see Baird and Cole. Other than that, that game is awful. The multiplayer is disgusting, and I'm glad I never have to look at it ever again. But besides that, the one game that I when I worked at a store where you can buy and sell used games 10 years ago, there was the game and I was looking forward to it so much, and I pushed it too. I pushed it hard, and it was Bullet Witch. I wanted this game to be so awesome. You get this badass chick and she's got these badass powers and guns and stuff, and I don't know what happened. I just remember starting the game up and like trying to even get out of the first square level. It was bad. And I usually don't really say that games are bad, but Bullet Witch was bad. And that was very disappointing and disheartening.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Gears of War Judgment, it was funny because I actually played through the campaign. It was with Stinking Corpse. And the funniest part of the whole thing was I don't remember much about the game. I just remember we were getting to the last level and shit was starting to hit the fan. And Corpse's character wasn't really moving. And I'm thinking, it's like, did he lag out or something like that, right? And the next thing you know, we're waiting. I was like, fuck, he's not moving. I go back, and then all of a sudden I hear this. And he's just dead to the fucking world. It was so fucking funny. Look, he's in the chat. Oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. Great timing, Corpsey. What's going on? It was fucking funny as shit. Oh my god, it was good. But it was pretty bad when the most memorable thing about the game is your buddy falling asleep during the campaign and not the campaign itself. And the one thing that drove me absolutely bonkers with Gears Judgment, I actually I like the characters. I like the story. It wasn't that. It was the fucking those stupid levels that force you to do horde mode shit. Like, I hated that crap. And you know, like I hated that
They
stuff.
did that in
And
4
plus,
too.
yeah, and then they took out the D-pad to switch your weapons. You had the quick swap to the Y. It was weird. I don't know. Just the whole game felt off to me. What's going on, Monkey Punch?
The
Sorry?
multiplayer was
Multiplayer
terrible.
was
I didn't even try them.
And you know what? You
it
know what? The
wasn't.
verticality wasn't bad. It was the fact that they couldn't figure out the weapon tuning, and that was because people who could fly did the multiplayer, and they had no clue what the hell they were doing. And literally, after like the first like 5 days, I had nobody to play with if I wanted to play that game.
No, it was awful. The coolest thing about that for me was that you could choose your skin, and I always tried to choose my skin to match my weapon. But the multiplayer for me was just awful because there were so many times where my buddy would be like, "Hey, Eve, there's someone on your head." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And there's some dude like parkouring up on top of my head, and I can't shoot up. So the whole like jumping off from like the tops and stuff drove me fucking nuts. I just need straight forward action. That's all I need. Nothing extra.
Every time she does a description of her Gears of War experience, it sounds fucking kinky.
It's so
Parkour on her head and getting her skin and
I love it when I hear a hammer burst. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Don't you miss the old one without all the little tiny spews? They had the one big one.
As long as he's not a virgin with a fucking boom shot. Whoop! Oh, there we go. Blew my load, and now I've got no more reloads. Splash damage. You know, for me, I'm going to make it quick and simple, and this is the one I'm probably going to get hung by the fucking people in the chat for this one. And I'm going to say The Witcher 3. Everybody bragged about it. Everybody raved about it. I tried fucking playing it, and no matter how much I tried playing it, I just couldn't get into it. And mostly not because I didn't like the character. I think Geralt is amazing. I think the game looked amazing. It was the play control, was the clunky play control. I still found it to be a little bit like not very smooth per se, and I just didn't like the overly complex inventory system. You're collecting all this shit. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Maybe it's just I didn't give the game enough time, but I felt like I played enough of it, and I felt like I really wasn't getting anywhere, and there was very little like anything to go on. You know what I mean? It was so I gave up on it. It wasn't. I don't think it was terrible. It just wasn't for me. So I gave up on it. So yeah, sorry. Just that's just my bag. Even like Resident Evil 2, right? It looks amazing. The new remake looks amazing and all that stuff. And I was hoping that I would really like it because I liked 7 kind of thing. And I went back and it's just, while it played a hell of a lot better, I was like, I just can't do these inventory-based games with no fucking ammo. Like, it drives me nuts when shit's coming at me and I'm always fucking digging out a stupid. And then you get a knife in fucking Resident Evil 2 that fucking breaks. Did it do that in the original game? Because that shit pisses me the fuck off. It's like, you're at least gonna leave me with a fucking knife. It shouldn't break in everybody's face. Like, what the fuck? What are they made out of wood sticks or what? Like, honest to Jesus, like, I don't know. That's just me, man. I get frustrated with games real quick when shit doesn't like go my way kind of thing. So, yeah. Was it Justin says should watch Teen Coco, Clueless Gamer, Witcher 3 play? Yeah, no doubt. Still like watching. What's his name? Conan O'Brien when he does his little reviews. Those are fucking hilarious.
Oh my god,
the Clueless Gamer shit. Oh, those are great. All right. Let's see. Well, that was pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. We're getting down in our topics here. The latest Nintendo Direct was pretty good. Showcased games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Yoshi's Crafted World, and most importantly, this is the one that caught a lot of people's attention because we'd never heard anything about it before. It's like a remake of Legend of Zelda. I think it's was it Link's Awakening or a Link to the Past? I'm not sure which one it was.
It is Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening, right. That's what I thought. And that one kind of caught everybody's attention. Of course, it has the Nintendo guys salivating at the bit. They're all over the jizz themselves. For me, I think it's cool, but that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. How would you guys excited at all for Nintendo? I know both of you guys don't have, I think, Switches, so you're probably not as excited. But even without that, do you think, most importantly, can Nintendo carry their momentum into like the end of 2019? They've had a hell of a run. Like, for a little system that's the least powerful one, these guys have been knocking it out of the park with just about everything right now. So what do you think? Astral Chain, thanks, Shidno.
Portable aspect of the console is what could sell it for a long period of time. Nintendo Direct, I wish inside Xbox would do that in some way. Like, there's too much talking, there's too much bullshitting. Okay, let's just get to the point. We want to see the games, and that's all that matters. And the problem is, think they're trying to fill airtime and inside Xbox. And it's like Nintendo is dropping a lot of big hitters. I mean, Hellblade on Nintendo Switch. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that shit. You know, they'll be sitting on a plane or something, and they're going to enjoy that. You know what I mean? They're going to be so in depth in it. All of a sudden, your plane ride's over. You know, so what else are they going to add? And you know, I think this partnership with Nintendo and Xbox is going to go a little further at some point. I don't know when, because Nintendo is set in their ways, but they see what Xbox is doing. You know what I mean? Like they're thinking about how many subscribers. You know, it's more about subscription based than anything else. And you know, you give Nintendo a $2 kickback for every subscriber, you know, and every month they pay. Nintendo is going to make revenue from it. They're not doing anything. They're not even doing anything on the software or hardware end. You know what I mean? They've already built their console. You know, why not do it? You know, and that's something that I think we're going to see sooner rather than later. We're going to see a lot of people, you know, enjoying games on different devices. And I know it hurts some people. I think Noof actually, it probably hurts you more than anything, because you're thinking, all I can buy is digital at some point, and I understand what you're thinking. I mean, you're giving away hard copies of Titanfall 2, so you're old school, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we're going that direction, and it's whether not only do the games, you know, make sense on the device or whatever it's on, it's more like, do the games run right on those devices? If they don't, then it's going to die before it even started, because people are just going to be like, screw it. A lot of people say Xbox is going to get rid of, like, you know, making consoles. That's bullshit. Okay. Because I like my X. My X runs great on my 4K TV. So why not have it? I mean, I don't sit there and play when I don't have time. I go to work, I come home, I don't drive and text or none of that bullshit. You know what I mean? So I'm not playing a game any other time. Like if I go on a trip, I can, if I really want to play a game, I can download a little quick phone game. I'm not going to buy a console to do that. But there are some people that would, you know, some people that travel all the time. Yeah, they might do that. So, you know, clearly the console has you know, Switch has a spot in the console industry, and it's whether they can enhance it and not like try to change too much. Like we all remember the Wii, and the Wii was super successful, and then they went to the Wii U, and they really should have just waited a year or two and went to the Switch, because that's what people were looking for from them.
Yeah.
So
Primal.
Well, Nintendo will never die. They figured out the formula to gaming life for some reason. It doesn't matter what they do. They're always fantastic, which is great. The Switch isn't for me though, because I don't travel really ever. And when I do, it's like I have no reason to stop and play something. I am extremely jealous about Marvel Twin Alliance 3. I want it really bad. Like I just especially since they had released the combo deal on the one. It doesn't make sense. Like why not just have a third one too? But no, it goes to Switch, and it's such an odd move. As far as Link's Awakening, that was probably my most played Zelda game. I think it's really cool that they are updating it and remaking it and bringing it a more modern. Well, I guess it's not that modern, but a Nintendo modern image. So I think all of it's pretty cool. I think it's so awesome that Hellblade's going to be on the Switch. I think everybody should be experiencing that game. Well, it's unfair for me to say. I think a lot of people would really enjoy that. It's an experience that I've never had in any other game before. I'm not so sure many other people have had the same experience either. So I just like how Nintendo is trying to reach all audiences and not just being a family system.
Yeah, I always find it's really weird, right? Because with Nintendo, like a lot of us grew up with Nintendo, so we're all pretty much adults now with kids and families of our own. And it's like the adults buy Nintendo because a lot of it's nostalgia. It's almost like hanging onto a piece of your childhood. You know, whether you don't like the games maybe as much as you did, say you probably would have liked them 20 years ago, but it's that factor. And then a lot of the parents now buy it for their kids because it's like the safe bet, right? It's the console. It's a little like user friendly, a little more, easier for the families to get into, right? A lot of their stuff is co-op, has, you can play it on the couch. And that's something that is severely lacking quite a bit when it comes to Xbox and PlayStation, even more so is lack of games that you can play split screen or with your family and friends, without always having to be hooked up online. But there's always really weird, right? Because we're kind of gone in reverse, whereas like Xbox and Sony, they play it fairly safe, it seems like, when it comes to hardware, right? But then they take a lot of more risk with their software. Nintendo's the opposite. They're always taking the risk with the hardware, and then they play it safe with the software. Like, when was the last time Nintendo made an original title of their own that was that really blew you away, that didn't always rely on their big properties of Mario and Zelda and Metroid or whatever it might be? When was the last time they really came out and you went, well, I didn't expect that from Nintendo? You know what I'm saying? They stick it very safe, and I think one of the last times they actually got into a game that was surprised me, I think it was GameCube, was Eternal Darkness. That was a Nintendo published game, and that was a rated, I think, an M game at the time too. And he's like, wow, that's coming from Nintendo. That's really weird. But I don't see the momentum slowing down anytime soon for them. I think they're going to have another strong 2019. They got some, big games coming out. I suspect there'll be more this year. It has a niche. It has a bit of a market. But based on the people in the chat, though, like a lot of people, there's people in the chat who haven't got one. And there's a lot of people in the chat that seem like they have one, but just don't play it very much. And I don't play mine very much either. Like a lot of days, I'm like, I'm glad I got it, but I don't know why I have it. You know what I mean? It's really freaking weird.
Do you know what bothers me is that if they still had Rare under their belt, they might actually have something going on. And did anybody ever think when you played N64 and like, I'm sorry, I sound old, but Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, dude. That game, especially for the multiplayer part of it, when it was like LAN 4-player, it was so much fun. You know what I mean? And it was so raunchy, and it was like Nintendo actually allowed this on their console. That's the first thing I said. You know what I mean? Like when Mortal Kombat would come out for that, it was like the hardest stuff that they could have. But then they came out with Conkers, and I'm like, man, he's saying some fucked up shit, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And it was just great because like I was a teenager. It was so much fun. Like you blow people's heads off and all kinds of stupid shit. And it was just so over the top. And I think they lost something when they lost Rare, because Rare was basically making only for them. And then freaking Microsoft's just like, here, we want you. So, and that's the thing that I like about Microsoft is like a lot of people could say, hey, they're buying up all these and not going to do nothing with them. Yeah, they are. They're waiting. They're waiting for the right timing. Maybe it'll be for the next console generation, which they're not even thinking about generations. They're just going to upgrade the console. That's the way I'm seeing it. So, you'll still be able to play it on your original Xbox One, probably. It might be like a little bit cloud-based if need be. But, I mean, I think that there's going to be a lot of things going on. And I think Microsoft, for once, is not too far ahead of the curve because they've done that before, 2013. But they're just far enough. And they're saying, you know what? We're willing to work with you guys if you want to. And Nintendo, I think, has got that, that thinking emoji sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know what we should do. While Sony's like, doors are locked, we're closed down, we don't see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Saltiest Gaming is in the chat. What's going on, guys? Salty put up a fantastic video about Metro Exodus. He did his review on it. Highly suggest you go check it out if you're still riding the fence in that one, guys. Again, you can catch me with Salty on Thursday nights with the Saltiest Gaming podcast as well. A little bit of a shout out, the selfish plug. But just like me, I'm a plug. But anyway. Great topics, guys. Great. We're coming down to the end of the show. Still one more giveaway for Metro 2033. We're going to give away that actually right now, as a matter of fact, before we get into our final topic of the night. So I've got a random number already picked out in my head. Okay. Primal already knows what it is. So I'm not bullshitting anybody or nothing like that. I'm not going to play favorites here. But what you need to do now, if you want to win Metro 2033, now this one is a digital code, so this is good for anywhere basically. You can get this one tonight. All right, so I have a digital code. This is Metro 2033, the original game, not the 2 and not the new one, guys. Okay, so original game. It's a great way to start if you don't have the game or you don't have Game Pass, you can play it. All you got to do right now is we're going to start picking numbers between 1 and 50. So Dreadpool, you're automatically disqualified. Pick a number between 1 and 50.
Try good.
And whoever gets closest to that number, and you can only guess once, is going to win the code. So between 1 and 50, put it in the chat. Whoever gets closest to the number I picked is going to win it. Guys, only one guess per person. So if you keep on guessing multiple times, Dreadpool is way out of the park, so he obviously doesn't want the game. Between 1 and 50, 86 is a little closer to 100. Right now we got lots of guesses going on right now, and Timothy Dixon's 3, Cali Rex 34, Z-Script 27, Brian F 33, Brian Baker 35, Victor Mendoza 44, Spider-Man 169 from Saldius Gaming. He already has the game. Yeah, we know Saldi wants to be doing some 69s. I don't know how many 69s he's going to be doing, though. He's got a kid on the way here, so yeah. He's been doing lots of something, that's for sure. Jago says 15. We'll give you another couple seconds, guys, to drop your number in the chat if you haven't done so already. So yeah, congrats to Salty too, and the upcoming birth of his daughter. You just found out that sex was a little girl. Congratulations, buddy. All right. Who hasn't made a guess yet who wants to win the game? Some of you guys already have it. That's cool. Hopefully you've played it. I'm still actually playing the original game, actually. I don't even know how far I'm in it, but it's pretty good. Looks like all the guesses are coming in. So Primal, you know the number. I've told you this in advance of the show, so this is not me looking at a name and going, well, that's the winner. Okay, so I already told this long before this contest, so this is means it's fair and equal. Go ahead, Primal. Tell them what the number is, and then let me know who our winner is.
Well, hang on. Are we going under or over?
Oh yeah, I never thought about it that way, right?
Before I even say anything.
Sounds like something else.
Either whoever's closest, either under or over.
Now
I already can see there's two in the chat that are next to each other. One guy is out by one. One guess. He's going to be a multiple winner tonight.
Shit.
Do you see it?
Wait, could we have a tie?
Well, we got a guess here. I suppose if it was a tie, we got to go with another one. But
well, wait, if we have the two people guess the number that's in the tie.
No. Okay, so the number. Well, I'm looking at the two here now from the guesses we have already. We've got one at 34 and one at 27. 27 is closer.
We have one at 33 as well.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
you do.
That is true. Yes, one at 33. Never thought about it that way. Okay, so the number now is the number is 30, and we have C Script at 27 and Brian F at 33. So you guys are both 3 off the pace. So what I'm going to do now between Brian F and between C Script is I'm going to send Primal real quickly another number, and this one's going to be between 1 and 10. And Primal, I'm going to send it to you on Twitter. You have access to that right now?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'm going to send you the number between 1 and 10, and then I'm going to get these two guys to guess again. And whoever's closer this time is going to get it. And I'm going to put that in, and it's going to be, let's see here. Okay, I'm sending it to you right now. And then we'll get these guys to guess again. All right. So Brian F and C Script, it's up to you two guys now. Let's go ahead. Brian F says 7. C Script, what's your guess, bro? What's your guess? It's up to you now, bro. Brian F is 7. C Script has 4. Who's closer, Primal?
All right. Wow, damn. C Script was 4. Because the number was 3.
The number was 3. C-Script was 1 away. Brian F., you were 4 off the pace, guys. Congratulations, C-Script. Our multiple winner tonight. He scored a copy of Titanfall earlier tonight. Now he wins a copy of Metro 2033. Congratulations, guys. That's all the giveaways for tonight, and we're going to get into our last juicy topic. before we wrap this shit. You got to go. All right, guys, you got to go on. You're going to miss out the best topic of the night, too. This is going to be dope as fuck. All right. Our last topic, we're going to have some fun with this one. Turn-ons and turn-offs. And I'm talking about what turns you on and off and from a video game to trying to get a date. So let's open up the floor here. Let's let our guests take this one to start us off here. So what are your turn-ons and turn-offs for a video game, Crispy Bomb? And if you were trying to get a date, what are some things that are no's and what are some things that are goes?
Okay. Turn on. I think we all know the turn on.
Start with the video game first.
It's gears, which is few and far between for women. I'm just saying,
right.
Not including you, Primal, but yeah, I mean, I probably meet 1 out of every, I'd say 20 is a female that actually is like willing to play the game with me, especially. So, you know, turn-ons and turn-offs. If you don't get my jokes, well, then we're done here. Like, I'll walk around in a bar with my Deadpool shirt that has a unicorn, him riding a unicorn with a rainbow around it. And if you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, are you like, you know, are you swinging the other way or something? Like, well, no. I mean, do you understand that like the whole end of like every Deadpool movie is him riding a fucking unicorn? Like, you know, like if you don't understand my humor, like just we're done, you know. And the thing is that I will say a lot of women act like I'm cheating on them if I play the game. And I'm not kidding. Okay. Yes. Like they will go out and do whatever the hell they want. And I'll be sitting here from when they left to when they come back and playing the video game. And then I'm the bad guy. Even though I had no clue what the hell you were doing when you were out. What the fuck do you think that shit is? That's such bullshit. Like I don't get me wrong. I play video games. I used to play them so like I used to get so intense that like they'd be like trying to hint to me that they wanted to get laid, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna play the game. But at the same time, we're sitting there by ourselves, and you ain't trying to pull my pants off. So what the hell do you think? Like we could do it right here if we want to. Okay. Why do we got to go upstairs and go to bed? Right. I'm sorry. Like, don't treat me like I'm a piece of shit because I'm playing a fucking video game. It's not doing anything to you. Right. I'm not out trying to pick up girls and shit. Like, come on.
There you go. So that was your turn-ons and turn-offs when it comes to the ladies. Primal Eve, how about you from a video game perspective? What are some of the things that get you excited, and what are some things that you just can't stand? And then we'll talk about the relationship side of things. When you're looking for a man or perhaps a lady, whatever floats your boat, what are some things that get you riled up?
I'm sorry, but really quick, Crispy, you just described my last relationship, but I'll say that later.
That's been the last 10 for me, hon. I'm just telling you.
Seriously. All right, for games, turn-offs, turn-ons. Oh shit. A game that I love all games. They all turn me on. I need action and story, and that will turn me on. If it doesn't have a well, no, that's not true because I'll play that either. Like I can't answer this new. All games turn me on in one way or another. Is that weird? I don't care. As far as like relationships and stuff go, humor is a huge thing. If you guys ever play any games with me or talk to me outside of like the podcast and Twitter, I am seriously fucked up. I have a really, really horrible sense of humor and no morals. It's bad. I still can't, Crispy, you just like you nail it on the head. So really quick, my last relationship, I dated somebody. I don't give a fuck if you're watching this either because I don't like you anymore. Is that we would get to these fights and he would always say that I was more in love with my Xbox than with him. And then if we ever had sex or anything like that, I would just like be gone and back on the Xbox. And he always thought that was really rude. And to me, it wasn't, because I was ready to move on to the next thing. I had already taken care of one business, so I wanted to get on to my next. Turn offs. I have to be with a gamer. If you don't understand my passion and my love, then it's never going to work. And also a turnoff is somebody not being themselves. I really, really dislike people trying to be something that they're not. It drives me absolutely fucking nuts. Okay. I think I got
awesome. I like it. I do. Oh, wait. It sounds like I just echoed a little bit. Something a female voice.
I swear my legs aren't open, so you're not echoing.
Okay. The Grand Canyon. What can I say, man? The sexiest game's still got to be Tetris, right? Because I like inserting my large block into a tiny hole, and the longer we go, the more intense it gets.
Well, now you got Tetris Battle Royale, Noof. What are you talking about?
Yes, instead of 69, we get 99. No, just kidding. When it comes to video games, man, it's always got to be the visuals, the graphics, and a great story, right? That's the stuff that gets me going. That's why Gears is so appealing, because it had these larger-than-life characters, amazing graphics, really cool, badass gameplay with some really cool guns. In terms of turn-offs in a video game, honestly, turn-offs for me a lot of times now is just, cheating, people that cheat a lot in games and I don't understand and then brag about it. They're cheating and they turn around and brag about it. That's terrible. It's like you can't really honestly hone up to your bragging if you know you've been cheating to get there. I've always hated leaderboards. I know why they're there, but I've always hated them because then people start worrying too much about their fucking kill-death ratio shit instead of playing the game. A recent turn-off, and one of the biggest reasons I can't fucking stand Battle Royale modes, and I'm going to put it right out there, is because too many people spend half their fucking game shopping at Old Navy looking for another skin to put on their gun or the fucking new scope and a silencer instead of shoot people. I don't know how many goddamn games I've lost because my team is too fucking busy picking up fucking weapons when they already got good weapons. I'm like, what else are you going to fucking get? You've already got 2 or 3 of the best guns and you're still looking for shit. It's like, for fuck's sakes, if I don't want to play games and feel like I'm at Old Navy trying to pick out a new fucking color shirt. Okay, so there you go. I'm getting riled up now because that's how shit. And when it comes to relationships, well, it's pretty simple, man. Look, I'm a sucker for a girl with fantastic eyes. If she's got big, beautiful eyes, she's got great legs. Oh man, that stuff gets me rolling. I love great legs and great eyes. I don't really care for girls. I like thick girls. I prefer a thick girl any day of the week over than a skin and bones fucking straight ass girl. I like thick girls. They're nice. And, don't mind the smaller ones either. But, and in terms of the turnoffs, you know what? More than anything is a girl who thinks her shit don't stink fucking attitude. And I've dated lots of girls too that always had that weird fucking way of that, hey, I'm saying yes, but I really mean no, and it's up to you to figure shit out. The mind game bullshit, and then you come home because she said, yeah, it was cool to go out with your friends. You're allowed. It's okay. And then you come home, and then you get fucking shit because you went out with your friends and you did something. And it's like, well, I can't believe you chose them over me. I shouldn't even have to explain myself. It's like, look, honestly, well, you should have told me that the fuck up front instead of giving me grief for it now, because I'm not into playing the mind fucking games and the emotional roller coaster bullshit. You either are who you are when I'm in the door, out the door, like, you know what I mean? The rest of it you can work on, but I can't stand that shit, man. Just be straight, be who you are, like Primal Eve said, be who you are. Don't play the fucking mind games. Don't act like a royal bitch. Like a lot of times too, that's why I've always liked girls sometimes that are a little more modest in their looks, because at least they're not so fucking conceited. They're not so fucking full of themselves. Yeah. I hate that when people just think they're so fucking good looking. Everybody's looking at them. And it's like, oh, I was always terrified to approach girls back in the day. Like, as much as I want to get the courage, it's like, well, because that girl's good looking, and she probably, if I even went up and that, because it happened to me a few times. Like, I don't know how many times I go to a club when I was like in my early 20s, and I'd ask a girl like even to dance, and she'd say, no, I'm kind of occupied or I'm doing something. And then you turn around 5 minutes later and she's fucking dancing with some other guy who I guess floats her boat more than you. So I used to hate that fucking shit. It just drove me nuts. It's like, okay, I guess I'm not good enough to dance with anyway, regardless of anything else, but that sort of shit. But that's kind of what, eyes, legs, man, always get me going. A great set of hooters is nice fucking too. I can't deny that. Noof, he loves the hooters. Right, I like things.
Man, Noof. Man. Gotta
Ass
have
man.
an ass.
I like a good ass, but I don't like the big fucking fat ass ones, like the ones with the large cargo. You know, like Nicki Minaj. I love her face and I like her breasts, but then you get down to her goddamn hips and it's like the fucking Titanic. Just
Yeah, but she put implants in. That's the
is
problem.
that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
Implants? Jesus. God damn.
Yeah, no Kim Kardashian. No, I'm good. I'm good with that shit. El Natural, bro.
Yep.
Well, there you go, guys. If anybody else has any comments, the chat just kind of fucking went all silent up in here. I don't know if we lost everybody or they're all in some sort of weird metamorphosis over here.
They all went to go grab their sock to go put it back on their cock. That's what
right.
happened.
they're just listening to you, Primal. They're all over there beside themselves right now. We got a mail.
I should do like an ASMR. just say video games.
Dreadpool's has no giant turkey legs. He doesn't like the fucking turkey legs. That's great. I told you guys, this is not your typical podcast. We're gonna have a little bit of crap going on up in here. And before I leave tonight, I gotta give it up to you guys because you guys obviously know, you always want to hear my impressions. So wanted to just say before I close down the show, I wanted to wish you all a very good night. I hope you had a great time. I hope you really enjoy listening to Primal and Crispy Bomb dropping the bombs in here. Well, it's great. Let's go do it. Come on. There you go. I had to do the
do it.
Somebody wants the Arnold up in here. Here, Primal. This one might make you hot since you like Kingdom Hearts. Rolly G. Lurker, Primal, go over to my house. Body cake. Yay.
That is a turn off.
Get your pants down. Come on, do it.
So awful.
Oh wait, you're a cow, right? You're a cow.
I gotta thank everybody that came out to watch tonight's show. You guys are fucking fantastic. And I want to thank Crispy Bomb for being our first ever guest. If you are interested in being a guest like he was, all you got to do, guys, just send me a DM. Say, man, I'd love to be on the podcast with you and Primal, and we will definitely make it work. It doesn't matter if you're a podcast veteran or you're a podcast virgin. We take one and all. We don't discriminate. We masturbate. That's what we do.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. This is fucking awesome. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It was freaking great.
Well, thanks, Shizno. Thanks, Timothy Dixon, Jago, Middle Age Game Guy, Michael Monkey Punch, Shizno, everybody, Spider-Man, all you guys, everybody has been in the chat. We might not have had 100 people, but we had some awesome people, and that's all that matters. So, Crispy, since you were chatting, let people know where they can find you, how they can follow you on Twitter, how they can hook up with you on Xbox, PlayStation, etc., all that good stuff.
At Crispy Bomb on Twitter. If you really want to know how to get a hold of me on Xbox, you're going to have to watch CCC on Sunday nights, 7 p.m. It's Coffee, Casual, and Consoles on Oh Snap It's Mel's channel. And yeah, she's got it all right in front of your face, so you can't have an excuse because I'm not putting my name in there. Too many people get too confused on, it's Gears of War in between Crispy Bomb 28. That's it. That's what it is. GOW in between. That's the spaces. So, clearly I love my Gears. And when Gears 5 come out, I'm probably going to get 100 invites to podcasts because I know everything and anything you want to know about Gears. And I go for it. I love Gears.
We should do a Gears special.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're going to do a Gaming After Dark Gears special. We might have to get a big panel that night. It'll be fucking awesome. Yes, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. We'll have to get you back for that one, Crispy.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Anytime. Seriously, this is great.
Yes, Mel, Coffee Casuals and Consoles is a great little podcast, guys. Go check it out. Make sure you say hello to Mel and Xbot and all the crew over there as well. Great crew. Awesome. Crispy, glad you could be with us tonight. Hope you had fun. Primal, you know where to take this.
Are you sure? No. All right, guys, if you want to talk to me or find out more about me or just whatever with me, you can follow me on Twitter. And if you want to play with me, you can add me on Xbox, Primal Eve. And then the PSN, I don't really play any multiplayer games on that system. It's not really my go-to. So if you definitely want to get some game time in, you can hit me up on the Xbox. Even if I'm appearing offline, you could take your chance and still shoot me a message.
Awesome. And as always, guys and gals, you know where to find you. Always in the gutter. We'll be back again next Tuesday with episode number 4, I do believe. And again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. Congrats to our contest winners tonight, Mr. C Script, and who was our other winner, Mr. Evil Resident. So congratulations on the game wins. Hook up with me on Twitter. I'm going to need your addresses to send out the physical copy. C-Script, I'll send you out the digital copy of Metro a little bit later here. Hopefully you guys are following me on Twitter. As I said, it's Noof Nukem, pretty simple stuff. I'll catch all you lovely people later on the next one. But until next week, everybody have fun. Be good to each other. Go play some damn games and less bickering about them. And we'll be back. Can't wait to be back soon. Catch you later, everybody. Have a fantastic night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.